Alright guys, I got another one for you here today. We're going to be talking about some equipment for the homestead. And a lot of us, we try to go with a cheaper route, trying to save $1 here and there. And it's always good to try to save $1 here and there. I mean, we all like to try to keep our money and put our money to more things that will benefit us in the long run. So I'm going to be talking about some like water hoses today, some equipment like that, and just different things that, you know, you have to make sure you have on your homestead, especially when you have chickens. You're going to be dragging hoses around. You're going to be making, you know, if you don't, you're going to be making bucket trips after bucket trips for water, because these guys got to stay hydrated. So I want to talk with you today about the system that I got going right here, how it has failed me because I was a cheapskate and tried to get away with the cheapest thing I possibly could. Because with that said, look right here, I installed this water spigot, and one flaw it has already, which is kind of a minor, but you know, your fingers hit whenever you turn in this knob, which you can help that, but you know, this is like I said, a minor. You can come on the side or whatever and do what you got to do, but just keeping that in mind, that's one thing I want to try to fix today. Get that off of the wall so you can freely turn this with no problem. And I'm going to take this off and I'm going to install a different one and try to get away with it. But what I want to say is, make sure whenever you buy these spigots, you're not buying the cheapest thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're already cheap. These little spigots right here run between, you know, $8 to $10. That's not that bad for a brass fitting for this. But as you can tell to this, out the spigot, I got this little cheap little hose. I kind of put this together right here on the ranch. I didn't have a extra hose to go to this. Hang on, try to get all this. Trying to get the camera all soaked here, but to this roll-up thing. I use this to roll it up whenever I'm not using it. But here lately, I use this thing a lot, and I just made this little clear hose to be able to hook up on this thing. So like I said, try not to use the cheapest thing because it's going to cost you long down the road. I knew this was going to be temporary, and that's fine. If you're trying to save money for the time being, that's totally fine. I just put all these little fittings on this thing just to get me through till I could go and get me a hose and stuff to make stuff happen. So let's tear into this. Let's see if we can replace this spigot and start moving on to the hose, actually. So I want to show you guys this, what I went and purchased for this to make this happen, where you're not hitting your fingers when you turn this knob. Get rid of that minor thing first, and then we can work our way to the other things. That is a little bit bigger issue than your fingers rubbing up against this thing. So let me get started here. First off, when working with water, you want to try to locate your shutoff valve to your water. So with a mobile home like this is, you can, with the underpinning with this vinyl, it's pretty simple. I kind of got already a general idea of knowing where the cutoff is, because I had to find it during the freeze. I had, you know, water issues whenever you know, all the cold, when we had all the cold froze and stuff like that. I had to figure out where it's at so I can cut it off so we wouldn't run into that problem. But these things just slide out. I always like to make sure I put this J channel like this so I can always slip it right back on there. So, and then we look up under the house here. Right there is my shutoff. You see it goes directly over to the water spigot over there. That's the line that it goes to. So let's get that thing turned off, and we'll start on the other side of tearing it down. All right, got that cut off. All right, with the water turned off, I'm gonna go ahead and just get what's in the rest of the line out, so you know we're not just getting sprayed here and getting soaking wet, which it wouldn't be bad. It's a hot day today, but we're gonna go ahead and get rid of all that just so it makes less of a mess. All right, I'm gonna let that drain for a little bit. All right, I had to trim it out just a little bit, but as you can tell, screws are coming out. It looks like this thing has been leaking. So maybe a good thing that I'm out here changing it out. Got both of the screws out. See if we can't turn this bad boy out. Like so. There it is. That's all that was. Not wrong, that was a good one. I probably need to put some Teflon on that. That's probably why it's leaking. See, there's no Teflon on it. We'll go ahead and put some Teflon on it, and then we'll put the new one on there. But anytime you put on Teflon, you want to go the opposite direction of your tightening. So you want to put it on counterclockwise versus clockwise, because if you go clockwise, that's the way we tighten stuff. Go counterclockwise with it. It'll bind the Teflon to the threads better than if you was to go the other way. If you put it clockwise, it'll just come off with the by you putting it, but you're binding it in those threads going the opposite direction. So let's get that put on there real quick. Start it off, and then we'll run this around here like this. You kind of want to open up this Teflon. See how it's thin right there? That's what you want. And I'll tell you what, if that breeze from underneath this crawl space, that feels daggone good. AC inside the house, you know, going. We'll get this Teflon and we'll go ahead and start with the next piece. I just like to, whenever I put on Teflon, I like just to spin it like that, just turn it like that. I don't know, it just gets it down in those threads a little bit better. All right, we good to go on that. I don't know if you can see that too well, but that's what she looks like with the Teflon on it. Let me get the other piece to show you the new faucet that I want to put on here. Said, I'll leave it standing out. I get one piece of it started right here. Now, I learned this over the years. My dad, a long time ago, when I was a kid, we ran into a guy that was selling vinyl. And, well, he wasn't just selling vinyl. He just had a bunch of stuff that he was selling that you could use, like building materials and stuff. And my dad found a really good deal on some vinyl. And with that said, almost all of our buildings was a frame, a wooden frame with vinyl around it. So for a long time, we built a lot of buildings around the house and stuff, and we used the J channel. We got it all, man. My dad just taught me how to use it over time by using vinyl. That's how I was taught how to use vinyl, and I don't know, it stuck with me today. So let's go ahead and get this new faucet put on. Enough of my past talking or whatever, but it's just as simple as the way we took the old one off. With this one, we don't have no screws to have to put back in, which is awesome. So you already got it in that wood. And this PVC part, this threaded 3/4 PVC right here, is already stubbed out enough to where I can put this on there. And hopefully this takes away from the leak that we was having. And it takes away that minor bindage of our knuckles hitting the vinyl. But looks like I don't have to go get another tool to tighten this bad boy, but I think I'm getting it. Let's see. Got another good turn on it. Because you can't turn this. This is going to turn free like this, but let's see if I can get it down. All right. Now we got that. The only time we're going to be binding up against this is when we hook up a hose. And that's going to be one time. That's going to be too easy to worry about. We won't be messing with the hoses, because I got another thing for that where we're not up against this vinyl. But we're going to turn this on, and then I'm going to turn the water back on and see if we got some water coming. We're going to check, see if it leaks right there. So we got water, and from the inside I wasn't seeing no leaks on this part right here. Let's see if you can see. I have no leaks coming off of it, so that's a good thing right there. Only thing is, it's going inside this where it's shooting down at the bottom. It's going right into the vinyl. All right, so we got the faucet back on, and I was going to show you all I bought something that I can put on there and I won't be messing right there with the binding and the thread that you screw the hose on with. I got something that'll display that. But it brings me to this point right here. Is I had purchased something a while back when I got this faucet put on, and it wasn't the best idea. It was cheap. I think I picked it up for like $4 or $5 or something like that, and I was like, well, it'll last, you know, it's good enough. But I didn't inspect it that well, and I'll just go ahead and show it to you. This is what I bought. It was a Y fitting that went up there, and I can put my hose and come off. But as you can tell, I'm missing a piece right here. If I had inspected this in the store and realized that these things come out, which is a pretty cool thing that they do come out, but it's not needed. It's not needed for those to come out, because I'm just going to, most time whenever you put this on, it stays on there, so you can run two different types of hoses off of it. So what that costed me is I had bought a $80 hose, because I didn't want to buy cheap hoses to run, because you're dragging them everywhere. And this hose, it was, like I said, $80 hose for 100 foot. And you can tell that piece got stuck inside of this hose. Really good hose, but I had to end up cutting it off, and then I had to buy something else to make it work. This is what I ended up buying to replace that Y fitting. This looked it was a little bit more expensive than this. We went from $4 to $5, maybe $6 for this to $18 for this. You're probably thinking, why would you spend that much money on a Y fitting? Because I want it to last. I want it to last for years, until I gotta put another one on there or whatever. Hopefully not, but we're gonna put this bad boy on there. Hopefully don't run into no problems, and we'll get this Y fitted. So the reason for me putting a Y fitting on there, I need one hose to run to my meat chickens, which is up there, and I need another hose to run to my egg layers, which is over there. So that's going to get us started on that. So let's get them moving. All right, got the Y fitting, took the packaging off. We're going to see how this is going to work on here. It's looking like it's going to be a little tight right here, which I didn't expect. But hey, you live, you learn. That's how I found out about that other one. But it's going on there. It's a little tight. Like I said, it was going to be a little binding up against the vinyl. But like I said, I'm not going to be doing this all the time. So one time, hook up, be done with it. And I want to kind of, see, that's what I like about this part, is it flexes out where I can also put the hose on it. I don't have to be up against the house. So just trying to think ahead of all of this and make sure we're good to go for years to come. All right, I got that good and tight. We're going to test out the stop. See, this is what turns your water off. I'm going to turn them both off. Hopefully that's off. Yeah, see, it holds the pressure. When you want water, you have water. Same thing on that side. But we're gonna put this 3-foot of hose on that goes from this side of the spigot to here. So let's get that done. Hooking this thing up is gonna be a breeze. It's too easy. It's just like your standard water hose. You freaking put this on and you thread it in there. As soon as I can figure it, there we go. Now we got it going. It's just weird not being able to hold that hose. It's the only thing bad about the spring. Maybe I can get in here and hold this hose. There we go. Yeah, I think we're in there. I like this because these things can come off and go back on, and it gives you something that you can tighten with instead of having to do that, you know? I think that's way better. And then you can use your entire grip to turn that on and off. So I want to give this a little test. Make sure I don't have no leaks right here. And it's not looking like it. I got some water coming out of this thing, which is good. So we'll turn that back off and we'll hook up this to our system over here. Now I know this one's gonna leak 100% because it's got a crack right here. I gotta find a place that sells these things that you can buy replacement parts. So we're just gonna hook this up. We know it's gonna leak here. We're not too worried about it. I just wanted a better hose on this so it's not leaking as much when I put water in it, because it was not only leaking here, it was leaking at the faucet too whenever I was doing it with the clear hose. So give this a go. Like I said, we was going to have a leak right here. We'll tighten it up just a hair, and we're still going to have that little drip right here. All right, we got that fixed. Now I can run me another hose from there if I want to water the rose bush or the chickens, whatever I got to do. With that said, we're going to talk about hoses. I purchased this hose at Tractor Supply. That was a pretty good deal. I hate that it's just a garden hose, but what I like to do whenever I pick out a hose, I get it, and if it takes a little bit to squeeze to be able to kink, like it's a lot of pressure to be able to squeeze the kink it. I like that because when you're out there, you hate getting kinks in the hose, and you'll be out there watering and no more water. What? The water was on a while ago, but you're out there kinking the hose. If you got a cheap hose, you're gonna get a kink. And sometimes you can get a decent hose and not get any kinks, but then their fittings suck. So I always try to get something that's got decent fittings on it and a decent durability of the hose itself, just so I know it'll last. So I'm gonna unwrap this bad boy. I'm going to show you my hoses. Right here, see how to hook up these hoses. This is wet spot right here. You can tell the difference between the dry and wet. That's still leaking right here. But it's not because of this. It's actually because this is not a great hose. It's been ran over and smashed. So there's that as well. It leaks around here. You can kind of see like a hole right there. But we're going to change this out with the new piece. This one. But first we're going to try to see if we can pull it apart. If it pulls apart, then we're definitely changing it. If it don't pull apart, I want to leave it because that means I can drag it. It twists, but it won't pull apart. So it's actually pretty decent hookup. It must have had the same thing like it's inside of this one. So that's good. So I won't have to change that out. But I still need to steal a hose from here to over there. So let's get that done real quick. That's what I want y'all to take out of it. Just, you get what you pay for whenever you put money into something. And then sometimes those things can break too. But most of the time, where you pay a little bit more, you can get quality things. It's way better. So thanks for watching, guys. I love all my subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, to get this love, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you would just give me a comment on this video, just throw something out there for me, I appreciate it. Smash that thumbs up, and we're going to Charlie Mike.